everybody. Thank you for coming back to the It's Beyond Me podcast. It's your girl, Drift Nasty.
I'm Freddie T.
And what we talking about?
And today we're going to talk about how everybody wants to be a thug until the time comes in.
Yeah, I personally ain't a fan of the phrase, everybody wants to do the crime but don't want to do the time, because let's face it, no criminal is going in thinking I'm about to do this time. Nobody wants to do the time.
Well, a smart criminal doesn't get caught.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do, obviously, you know in the back of your mind that you're gonna have to do the time, even though you don't want to. So I guess I get the point of the phrase or whatever.
Well, I just look at it like this. Everybody wants to be that man. Everybody wants to be the dude on the block. Everybody wants to be, you know, that cool guy, that thug, that what. But my problem is, you know, when you're a kid, that's cool. When you get older, there's a consequence to everything that you do, and people need to understand that. And at the end of the day, the problem that's there is you've got these 28, 30 and above guys who want to jump off the porch when their time is up, you know, like, no offense to anybody, but if you're still trying to be that dude well past your 20s and do you think it's cool,
just don't do it.
Yeah.
Give it up. There's a reason why it never worked out for you. That's stuff that you start when you're a kid, and then by the time that you've reached 30, you should know damn well better. So
yeah, because I look at these guys, it's like they play that role and try and be that hard guy in their 30s, 40s when they have kids and all this. No offense to anybody, but if you didn't make it to that rank back in the day, you're not going to make it now. And at the same time, if you're a crash dummy back then, you're a crash dummy now.
Mm-hmm.
So all these guys who, you know, you see it from celebrities to, you know, and when I mean celebrities, I mean you see rappers who act as gangster as all, say all this tough stuff, but then all of a sudden when the time hits, they over there talking.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. They had in the back of their mind that they weren't never going to get caught. I think that's the problem today, is everybody goes into it and says, oh, it won't happen to me, I won't get caught. But everybody gets caught eventually if you don't cut it off soon enough. So, I mean, you have to be prepared for that.
People need to understand that this is an old game. And if they caught the same people doing the same things a few years back, you're no different. You're just playing an old game with new people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at you like you're not showing them anything new. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't know. I look at it and I laugh. You know, these guys, they portray this lifestyle. They act all hard. Then you got the Quando Rondos of the days who cry and say after talking all that tough stuff, they see a friend die and now all of a sudden they don't want to wear the rag. Then you got the 6ix9ines who are just affiliates, people who are just hanging out with people who are in that lifestyle. And when crap hit the fan, all of a sudden they were like, oh my God.
Can't tell on the next one fast enough.
Yep. Then you've got the gunners who claim they haven't snitched, but yet
Snitched.
they snitched, and all the evidence says it. It's just, it's kind of getting old. I kind of look at the rappers and I say, everybody always says, oh, they're breaking the code, they're snitching. But this is where the problem hits, okay? If you see a crime being perpetrated on a child or something, are you going to snitch?
You can't say or something. If you see a crime being perpetrated on a child, are you going to get help? Because I wouldn't call that snitching.
Well, the problem is everybody calls it snitching. If you call the cops, you're snitching. If you tell the cops anything,
yeah, but
you're
there's
snitching.
certain things that shouldn't be kept quiet like that. Now, if it's grown folks doing grown folk things, then mind your business.
Yep, and I agree with you, but I'm just saying that is what people argue. People argue that, it's the law of the hood. You can't snitch.
But ain't nobody doing nothing with their own hands. See, that rule used to apply back in the day when they would say, oh, don't call the cops because we're going to take matters into our own hands, but y'all don't do nothing anyway.
But then again, at the same time, I have to look at people and I say, the rule also states that snitches end up in ditches. I've seen so many rappers snitch right now, and people still mess with them. From back in the day till now.
They get out and make music like nothing happened.
Some of them don't even get any time, and they still we still call them the OGs of rap. We still call them the greatest rappers and all this and all. But at the end of the day, I look at a lot of them. There are a lot of suspect cases where a rapper has stood up in court and quote unquote snitched for the betterment of his situation, and nobody has said anything. This happened in the past, this happened in the present, and it's probably going to happen in the future. There's only a handful of rappers who've kept their mouth shut and actually went and done the time.
Yeah. A lot of these big names, too, at some point in time told in some way, shape, or form. And then, that's another thing, too, like how we're talking about jumping off the porch when you're old and all that. When you're young, there's a point, like I said, when you get, like, in your 30s, you should know better. So that's why people looked at the older rappers sideways, because, y'all damn well into your 30s, 40s, still rapping. Give it up.
Well, I look at most of those rappers and I say, okay, you're millionaires. How much hood stuff are you doing? How thug can you be when you're pulling up in a Lamborghini? I'm just being honest with you. Pulling up in a Lamborghini with over $30,000 worth of jewelry on you, talking about you being a thug, you gonna pull a lick. Come on now.
You're an old man. You need to be setting examples and teaching the younger ones how to make money like that.
And then these guys call themselves real OGs, but I look at them and I say, a real OG teaches his youngsters not to do the stupid stuff, teaches them not to be crash dummies. But yet these guys are out here just doing all this. And then everybody wants to say, nah, But my problem is we're supposed to be, I look at everybody and I say, okay, our celebrities, our champs, our sports stars, or what, they're all supposed to, emulate greatness. Because we put them on pedestals. So they're supposed to emulate greatness. So why is it they sit there and they do mediocre stuff and we accept it? Why? Because they're superstars? Because they're celebrities?
That's pretty much what's happening.
So it's okay for them to snitch.
It's okay for them to do anything. They do so much foul stuff out there and ain't nobody saying nothing about it just because they make money.
I just don't understand it. I see, I give the Kanyes, the Jay-Z's, the Yo Gottis, the Lil Waynes, the Birdmans, all of them. I put them to task that at the end of the day, what are they doing to show the younger generation a better way to do things? I understand where people have come from. I understand that sometimes you had to do what you had to do to put up the food on your table. You had to hustle. You had to do kick doors. You had to do whatever. But at the end of the day is when you finally reach it and you're a millionaire now, why are you trying to look hard and do all this stuff when we all know you don't need to be doing it?
Or even if you ain't a millionaire, and like you said, you're a parent, you're an older head now.
Yeah.
What are you still doing playing child games for?
It's all cool when you're a kid, when you're 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, because
you're not gonna
going to go to prison.
You're gonna go to juvie.
Yeah,
You're gonna go to jig camp. You're not really gonna do that serious time, and they probably give you a slap on the wrist and tell you don't do it again, type of thing. But as you get older, just acting like a thug, the conspiracy can give you more time than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand it. I look at a lot of people and I laugh. Mm-hmm. I have friends, I have relatives, I have coworkers, I have people I see, and I look at them and I'm like, bro, is it really worth it?
And the conspiracy could get you anything from a couple of years to, depending on the state you live in, up to life in prison, depending on the conspiracy that it was. So play that game if you don't want to. You're going to find out. You're going to be looking real hard when you're sitting in prison having to fight for your life. Now you're in a small, confined space with another person who wants your head for something stupid because you snore too loud and they can't sleep. Then we're going to see how cool it is.
When you finally, I'll tell anybody from experience, when you finally get off that bus and they tell you to strip down and tell you not to butt, you're no longer in Kansas. And when you finally have to take a crap and you're in processing and you're taking a crap next to another man and there are no walls, and you get a newbie who sits there and starts trying to talk to you whilst you're trying to drop one, then you realize there's no privacy in prison.
Nothing great about it. So I don't know why y'all in such a rush to get there.
I look at all these youngsters who, you want to be a thug, you want to do all this, you want to sell this, you want to do that, you want to be the man, you want the mink coat. What they forget to tell you, which they don't tell you in some of these rap songs or some of these movies, is that at the end of the day,
none of that stuff matters, for one.
Yep.
No mink coat gonna do you no good when you leave from here. You can't take it with you. All them nice cars, these hoes, you ain't gonna take them with you.
And what people fail to understand is that the one thing that sucks the most when you get locked up is everybody else carries on with their life and you don't. You are stuck in prison, living underneath somebody else's rules, being told by another grown-ass man when you can wake up, when you can leave to go outside, when you can piss, when you can speak on the phone, when you can do everything else that every other normal person does without having to ask for permission. So at the end of the day, I look at people and I say, I put people to task to try and teach this new generation the real man of what it means, the real way of what it means to be a man or lady or woman or whoever. Because at the end of the day, our celebrities are failing.
Yep.
Well,
we're in the middle of a lot of sex offender stuff right now.
Well, I mean, this is just my thoughts about everything. I would like to hear what you guys got to say.
Oh, and before we go, so I'm pro-gun. I'm not personally against the outlaw life, but I will say that a lot of what y'all do now is stupid. Y'all young kids that be getting these guns and then y'all shoot up any and everything around the block trying to hit one thing and you hit everything but the thing you were supposed to hit. Y'all are stupid. All it comes from is y'all acting dumb, doing stupid things. I'm not against certain ways, however you have to live your life, however you got to make your money. But don't be dumb about it. Don't be an old man out here playing child games. Don't be a child out here playing grown man games. Like, you just have to know your position and stay in your lane with it. That's all I got. That's the last of what I got to say about it. Just be smart. But that's all we have to say. Thank you very much for coming back to this Beyond Me podcast. Again, Drift Nasty.
Freddie T. Like and subscribe.